International client payments raise an FX question that someone in the transaction always pays for, and naming who pays is the first move toward keeping the cost predictable. Your client in London, your fee in dollars, your processor configured for US only. Those choices interact in specific ways that determine where the conversion cost lands. Unit 8.7 walks the three scenarios and the tooling for each, with bank wire ruled out as a recurring option for cost reasons. Someone pays the FX cost on every international transaction. That part is non-negotiable. Client in London. You invoice in dollars. They pay your stated fee plus a currency conversion cost from their bank that you never see on your side of the transaction. Alternative, you invoice in pounds. You take the FX hit when those pounds hit your processor account and convert to dollars. Either way, someone pays. The design question is who, how much, and how predictably. And the answer changes the per transaction economics enough to matter once your international volume crosses a few $1,000s a year. Scenario 1 is the simplest configuration to maintain and the highest friction for the client. You invoice in USD. The client pays in USD from their foreign card. The client's bank handles the FX conversion at their bank's rate, which usually runs 2 to 3% above mid-market. The full USD amount arrives in your account with no FX cost showing on your side. Simplest from your side because there is no multi-currency configuration to maintain, but highest friction for the client because they see the USD charge plus their bank's conversion markup on their next statement. And they may or may not understand which part came from you and which part came from their bank. Scenario 2 puts the FX cost on you at the processor's rate, which is usually better than the client's bank rate. You invoice in the client's currency, EUR, GBP, CHF. The client pays in their own currency from their own card with no bank-side conversion happening. The processor converts the received amount to USD at the processor's rate before depositing into your business checking account. Current Stripe rates for this conversion run mid-market plus 1 to 2%, depending on the currency pair and the plan tier you are on. Cleaner client experience because they see a clean charge in their currency, and the cost lands on you at a known rate. Scenario 3 gives you control over when the conversion happens in exchange for taking on rate fluctuation risk. You hold a multi-currency balance through Stripe's multi-currency feature, through Wise Business, or through Mercury multi-currency accounts. Receive the payment in EUR, GBP, or CHF, and let it sit in that currency for a while. Convert to USD at the time of your choosing, when the rate is favorable, or when you actually need the dollars in your checking account. You bear the rate fluctuation exposure between the receipt date and the conversion date, but you choose when to convert, which means you can avoid converting on the worst rate days. Wise Business is the most common tool coaches reach for because the setup is light and the rates are close to mid-market. Wise Business gives you receiving details, an IBAN for euros, a sort code and account number for pounds, a SWIFT routing for francs, at near mid-market conversion rates. You hold the funds in the source currency for as long as you want, then convert to USD on your timing. Mercury multi-currency accounts work similarly if your business banking already lives at Mercury. Same hold and convert capability inside the account you already use. Stripe's multi-currency balance is the right answer if you already run everything inside Stripe and do not want a separate tool in the stack. FX cost math at realistic coaching volumes shows why the setup work pays off. $5,000 a year of international client invoicing at a 2% FX difference between scenarios works out to $100 a year of savings, modest but real. $20,000 a year of international volume at the same 2% difference is $400 a year, which more than pays for the afternoon of wise business setup work in the first year and continues compounding every year after. The break-even on doing the configuration work is any meaningful international volume. Under a few $1,000s a year, it may not be worth it. Above that, the savings compound annually. Bank wire as a recurring international payment method is the worst configuration on cost terms. Standard wire FX rates run 2.5 to 5% depending on your bank, the currency pair, and the dollar size of the wire. On a $3,000 coaching package, that is $75 to $150 in pure conversion cost on every payment. Money that goes to your bank's FX margin instead of your business. Wire fees stack on top of that. Do not configure recurring international client billing to run on wire transfers. The one-off corporate case where a buyer insists on wire is a separate situation that depends on the engagement size. The bank account level configuration sits in Module 6.7. Run a three-way cost comparison on a real international client payment if you have any client whose payments cross a border. Pull the most recent payment they sent you. Calculate three numbers side by side, what that exact payment would have cost you to receive via Stripe Direct with currency conversion at processor rate, via Wise Business with hold and convert at near mid-market rate, and via a bank wire at your bank's wire rate. Three numbers on one page. The gap between the worst and the best is your optimization opportunity stated in dollars instead of percentages, and the dollar number is what makes the case for spending the afternoon on the configuration work.